Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel where I will be crocheting it forward in this video by showing you how to make 2 winter crochet hats using my mile a minute patterns that I've created. Those links will be in the information box if you would like to know how to make the blankets. I just want to take the time right now and sincerely apologize for how long it has taken me to get this matching hat with the scarf video. I just have to share with you that I had planned on making the video the day after Thanksgiving because I was going to be off work, but unfortunately our oldest brother passed away unexpectedly from complications of diabetes, and then a week later another brother of ours passed away due to cancer. He lost his 8-year battle. So it's been really super duper hard for me to dive back into this. As you all know, when you lose loved ones, it's really hard to get back into the swing of things. But one thing that my brother asked me, who battled cancer, he asked me in the wintertime if I would please make a bunch of these hats and donate them to our local cancer clinic, which I've done. And I just wanted to share these. These are just regular hats, different sizes, different everything. I'm going to do that and drop these off in his honor. So I again apologize for the delay in the sequel of the video for the matching hats on the mile a minute patterns, but I have been dealing with some personal issues, so your patience and understanding is very, very appreciated. So moving on, the 2 hats I'm going to show you how to do today are right here. Not sure if you're going to be able to see them or both of them. This one has a brim, and then this one has more of the mile a minute pattern. So let's get started. Okay, so the first hat we're going to make, excuse me, I'm sorry. The first hat we're going to make using my mile a minute pattern is going to be the hat with the brim, okay? And just a heads up, depending on what brand you use is going to really determine how long you need your band to be. I made some with Red Heart and Red Heart and Karen, and they both say, oops, right here, they're size 4 yarns, medium weight, but then the crochet hooks that they recommend are a little different. Like this one recommends a 5.5 millimeter and this one recommends a 5. We're doubling that with the size 10 hook. But also, and I made a couple with the Walmart brand Mainstays, which I also came out to a different count. So basically what you want to do is you'll need your measuring tape, you'll need some scissors, and you're going to need a sewing needle for your ends. But what you'll want to do is at some point, maybe after you get to 30, you'll want to measure around the head. So just put the band part around your head and measure it all the way around. For this particular pattern, and again, I made this one, I ended up with 38 rows. Okay, but with the one that I made with Karen, I ended up with 42. So it just depends on you. Again, as long as you have a count of 2 and multiples of 2, this is going to work for you. It's a very, very adjustable pattern. So what you'll want to do is get your slip knot. We want to chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and again folks, we are using a 9.9/P 10.0 millimeter hook, and it's the same thing that we used in my first video. So once we have chain 9, we want to single crochet back to our first double crochet for a total of 8 single crochets. Be sure you're going through both strands. So this is 1, and it's just the back loop only. 2, and but what I mean by back loop is if you see these V's right here, you're going to want to go in there in each one. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And at the end of each row, we're going to always chain 1, which does not count for anything. I'm going to chain 1, turn our work. And this will be your first, always is going to be your first single crochet. So then again, we're going to go in the back loops only in this whole brim part. We're going to just single crochet 8 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oops, 7, and then you'll always be sure that 8th one is going to be like, for some reason it's going to set lower, but it's back there. Make sure you always have 8. Chain 1, turn, and repeat this 8 single crochets, chain 1, turn your work, for a total of between 38 and 42 rows. As long as you stop on an even number, you're just going to have to measure all the way around here. You know, as it gets longer, go ahead and measure around. Like this one right here, we just want to measure around, just like that. Okay, and I'll meet you back so we can slip the join and go to the second part of the hat. Okay guys, once you have the amount of ribbing that you need, you'll want to take the end with your crochet hook and pull that out a little bit, and then come over here on the other end, fold that with the beginning being on top, the beginning end where we started. And we're just going to insert our crochet hook, and we're going to come back up here to our loop, tighten it up a little bit, and slip stitch. Okay, now we're going to match all our stitches until the end to just slip stitch. And you don't want to do it too tight. Let me see where I'm at in the camera. You don't want to do it too tight. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make sure you're going through both loops. 7 and 8. So you should end up with 8 single crochets, or slip stitches, I'm sorry. Okay, so now we have joined our brim. Okay, so this is going to be the row 2, and these next 3 rows are going to be the exact same except how you start a row, and then I'll show you in the second one. But what we're going to do is working these ribbed stitches at the very top. We're going to skip a rib, working that one, skip, working that one, skip, and you can tell they're ribbed because they're braided and they lift up a little bit. So from this point we want to chain 2, and we're going to start with the V-stitch that does not have a chain in between. That's just how we're going to do our V-stitches for this pattern. And we're going to go right back in that same stitch and double crochet. Okay, so we're going to skip this rib, and at the top of this rib we're going to do our mile a minute pattern, which is 3 double crochets. MAM, I'm going to refer to it as our MAM, mile a minute pattern, a chain 2, and then 3 double crochets. And that's what we're doing. We're alternating the MAM stitch with the V stitch. Okay, skip this ribbed column right here, go into the next one and make a V stitch. And that's it. I know my stitches look a little stretched out, but I've had to re-record this because I was moving along and didn't realize I was not on camera. So now I'm just making sure I am. So those are the stitches you want to repeat. The 2 double crochets, your MAM stitch, 2 double crochets, and then skipping a rib column after each one. Again, your mile a minute MAM or MAM stitch is 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. more time, skip a column of the ribbed column, and then make a V-stitch in the next, which is just 2 double crochets. So repeat this all the way around, and I will meet you back here. Okay, we are at the end of our first row here, and I just want to show you that you see how it's kind of bunched up here, and I might be able to, well, I guess I do end up all right. I'm not able to skip a rib stitch. That's fine. If your stitches between your V stitches and your mile a minute stitches are off one column or something like that, don't worry about it. You're really not going to be able to tell. I promise you, you won't be able to. So if you can, you want to end your round with the MAM stitch, the 3 double crochets, the chain 2, and the 3 double crochets, right? And then we want to slip to join right here in our chain 3 space. And we're going to do the exact same thing. This is how you're going to start the next 2 rows. So we're going to chain 3, which is going to count as our first double crochet for our V-stitch of the row, and then double crochet. And then immediately move into your MAM pattern, which is 3 double crochets, a chain 2, 3 double crochets. Then you're going to move into your next 2 double crochets, and then we're going to put, or your V-stitch, and we're just going to put 2 double crochets. Okay, move into our next stitch, make our 3 double crochets, two chains, and then 3 double crochets, and then repeat that for the next 2 rows, and I'll meet you when you're done with all 3 rows. Okay, so I just finished my 3rd row, and I'm about to get into my V-stitch here. And I know that you're probably saying, oh gosh, this is flaring out. Is this how it's supposed to look? Yes, it is how it's supposed to look, because it's going to come together. I promise you it is. So what we want to do from here is we're going to continue with our V-stitches for this next row. So we're going to chain 3 and then double crochet. Only in our chain 2 spaces, we are going to single crochet 3, then go right into our V-stitch, next V-stitch, and V-stitch, which is 2 double crochets and no space in between. Go into our next chain 2 space of our mile a minute clusters, and then make 3 single crochets. Okay, repeat that again. In our V-stitches, we're going to make 2 double crochets. That's not going to change. But we're going to hop right over to our chain 2 space and make 3 single crochets. And that's how you're going to finish this round. So go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you back. Okay, so I'm just finishing up our single crochet round and V-stitch round, and I've come over here to my V-stitch, and I'm going to slip to join. Okay, and then the next thing we do is slip to join, chain 2, turn our work, and now we're going to make a double crochet all the way around in each stitch. So we're going to make a double crochet in each of the 3 single crochets here, and then in the stitch right here, just wherever you see a stitch, it's like, I think it comes out to 2 stitches for that V stitch, because it's the top of the 2 double crochets, and then again on top of your single crochets, on top of your 2 double crochets, on top of your single crochets, make 1 double crochet all the way around, and I'll meet you back. Okay guys, I'm at the end of my first row of double crochet, and I'm going to slip to join at the top of the first double crochet and not the chain 2. And now we're going to turn our work. Okay, so now we're back to the right side, and we're going to chain up 2, and then we're going to make a double crochet in each of the stitches around again. I can't give you a stitch number because everybody's going to be different in terms of what yarn you're working with and the measurement of your head. So go ahead and do a double crochet all the way around here, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, we are done with our second row of double crochet. Now from the rib portion of the hat, you should have 3 rows of your mile a minute pattern with your V-stitch, and then a single crochet row with V-stitch. So that's 4, 5, 6. We have 6 rows completed, so I'm just going to finish my double crochet and then slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet and not the chain 2. Okay, now this is going to be our last row, and it's a decrease row, and in every other stitch we are going to, let's see, decrease every other stitch row. Okay, so we are going to chain 1 and then single crochet in that same stitch, okay, and then 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochet together, 1 single crochet, make sure I'm on camera, 2 single crochet together. Okay, that's a decrease. 1 single crochet, and then you just pull up your loop and then yarn through once, go to your next stitch, pull up a loop, and then yarn through all of them, which creates one stitch right there. So that's what we're going to do. Go ahead and do that, and I will meet you back at the end of this round. Okay, I've just finished my last stitch for my decrease round, and I am going to slip to join the top of that first single crochet, and you want to leave about 10 to 12 inches for sewing. Go ahead and cut our yarn, follow through, and at this point you want to turn your hat inside out. Okay, we're going to grab our sewing needle and go ahead and thread our needle, and at this point, which is pretty easy, and this is the last bit of the hat, and we're just going to go in and weave in and out of stitches. So we're going to go into the next stitch, okay, and then out, in, out. Where you would normally put your crochet hook, you are going to put your sewing needle. So in, out, in those stitches. Okay. We're just going to go and do this all the way around. So you get all the way across. And then we're just going to bunch it together. Excuse me. And out, in, out. And I believe we're back at the beginning. And once you're at the beginning, you just want to scrunch it closed, okay? And then to secure that, we just want to go and make some knots in and out. You can fold it the other way, so you don't want to like have holes at the top of your hat. Go the other way. I'd say 3 good knots. You don't want them too far down so they're visible. Okay, it's good enough for me. We turn it around, and there's our hat. Now, let me get my yarn together, and we can clean up this end, this brim right here. So I'll meet you back. Okay guys, super sorry I'm coming in with a whole different hat, but I recorded a segment completely off camera and that was not acceptable to me. So I did want to show you how we attach for our single crochet cleanup row for our brim. So I've already sewed in the ends on this particular hat, and we just want to attach with the slip stitch. And just to give you a heads up, it's going to be a little tedious. You just got to have some patience. And in that same stitch, you want to single crochet. As long as you are spreading your single crochets evenly, you don't have anything to worry about. So what I like to do is put them at the top of our ribbed column right here and in the middle, which sometimes can be challenging, but I just didn't want any big gaps or any holes. Like right there, I don't know if you can see that. So right there, and then right here, it's kind of at the top. And then here we have this one row in the middle of your ribbed columns. And just like that. Just try to get them where, you know, you don't want big gapping holes in your brim. But as long as you get yourself into a pattern, it should all work out for you. And one single crochet all the way around. Okay, so we're going to go all the way around here, and I'll meet you back here, and I'll have the original hat in there for you. Okay, so I just finished up my last single crochet. I'm about to go ahead and slip stitch into my first single crochet and sew in my ends here. Okay, so you'll definitely know which side is the back of the hat. And there you have it. So let me sew in my ends and I'll show you how it looks on the mannequin. Okay guys, this is how the hat looks on the mannequin. I would turn it on its side and you can see how it all comes together. Very warm, flexible. You cannot go wrong with this. So this is going to be awesome for Christmas presents. Appreciate everybody's patience. Let's move on to video number 2, where I show you how to make my second hat. Okay, moving on to our second mile a minute hat. This follows my my thick and warm and cozy mile a minute pattern, only this is worked up. We're going to do a strip, and then we're going to turn it sideways right here. So I'm going to put the link to that if you're interested in how to make this pattern into a blanket, a really warm, super warm blanket. So that'll be again in the information box. So the first thing we want to do is grab our hook. We're doing the same thing. I said 9 last time in the first video, but it is an N/P 10.0 millimeter crochet hook. The same one we've been using. So we want to get a slip knot going, and then we want to chain 15. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, and then in your third chain from your hook, 1, 2, 3, we want to make our first cluster of 3 double crochets. Chain 2, and in that same space make another 3 double crochets. And I know that it looks like this space is really stretched out, but when you come back around and do the border, it will minimize. I guarantee you that. So then from here we want to skip 2 chains, slip stitch in the next chain. We want to half double crochet in the next chain. We want to slip stitch in the next chain, and then 1, 2, third stitch. We want to make our other cluster to match for the other side, to match the first side, the right side. So that's 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and then another 3 double crochets, And again, this chain that appears to be super stretched out is going to fix itself as we come back around. And then that should leave a couple chains. 1, 2, slip stitch to your very first chain. Okay, then we want to flip our work. We want to have our points right here pointing downwards. So the repeat doesn't get into row 3, so I'm going to do the second row with you. We're going to chain 2, and in this same big space right here, chain 2 space, we're going to make 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, okay, we're going to move over here to where we made our half double crochet right here, right there, and we're going to make a V-stitch, which is just a 2 double crochet, no space in between, and then we're going to come back over here to this chain 2 space and make another cluster of 3 double crochets, a chain 2, 3 double crochets. And then you always want to double crochet when you're ending these short rows in your third chain from the previous row. 1, 2, 3. We'll always make a double crochet. So we're going to chain 2, and this is going to be the repeat for the rest of this portion of the hat. So it's chain 2, turn your work, make 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and 3 double crochets in the chain 2 space below in the previous row. 1, 2, 3. They're going to hop right over here into this V-stitch and make 2 double crochets. Hop over here to this chain 2 space, and then we're going to make 3 double crochets, a chain 2, 3 double crochets. Super easy, super simple, and it's going to be super warm. Then 1, 2, 3 right here in that third chain, or third double crochet, we're just going to make another crochet, double crochet, chain 2, turn your work, and again you want to make 22 rows. And this, starting with this is how you're going to count them. You're going to count them right here. Let me see where I'm at on the camera. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are going to be your row counters. So do that until you get 22, and I will meet you back. Okay guys, once you get done with your 22 rows, you want to go ahead and finish your double crochet. Whoops, I had already did this, sorry. I was confirming my pattern. Let's go this way. So this is my 22nd row, sorry, not 21. Okay, so after you do 22 rows, you're going to turn your work. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to put 3 single crochets in that chain 2 space of our clusters. We're going to chain 1, make a V-stitch in the V-stitch of the previous row. We're going to chain 1. We're going to make 3 single crochets in that chain 2 space of our second set of clusters, and then we are going to double crochet in that last and that third stitch from the previous row. Okay, so now we're going to turn our work. Okay, we're going to lift our yarn up out of there, get our crochet hook, and then we're going to fold it with the other end facing us. We are going to get into the last double crochet of this front part. We're going to get in that stitch. We're going to come back here, grab our loops, tighten it up, and slip stitch, chain 1. Now we're going to go in that same stitch and single crochet. Now from here we're going to try to match the stitches as best as we can. I came up with a total of 12 stitches. So if you come up with one less or one more, as long as it's attached, it's fine. If it's a little crooked, that's fine too, because we're doing borders and we're adding stitches, so it will all work out. So from here we're just going to try to, like I said, try to match some stitches. So that's 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4. As long as you're going through both sides and joining, and you get your V stitches, you know, pretty much even, we're good to go. So that's 5, 6, 7. Again, just match your circles right here, your little loops, or your spaces, I'm sorry. 7, 8, 8, 9, 10, and then even this one I only came up with 11. So like I said, if you're off a stitch or two, do not worry, we'll get it fixed. Okay, so then we'll pull up a loop and then we'll see what that looks. You're definitely going to know which side the back is. So at this point we're going to turn our work this way. Okay, we're going to chain up 2, and then we're going to make a double crochet in each stitch all the way around. So where you see a stitch, you're going to put a double crochet on top of that all the way around, all the way back here, and now I'll meet you back there. Okay, real quickly, I just want to be sure that everybody's clear on the stitches, on where to double crochet. So like you have the chain 2 spaces or the double crochets, I'm only going to put 1 double crochet in that space. Okay, and then you have this space right here, all the way around you have those. That's where you want to put your other double crochet. And again, this is the chain 2 double crochet. We're just going to go right in the middle of that and put 1 double crochet. Again, this hole right here, this little space right there, you can't miss it. A double crochet, and then right here in your chain 2, it's either going to be a chain 2 or double crochet on your ends. We're just going to go right through the middle of that. And I just wanted to be sure that everybody knew that's where we were putting our double crochet. So go ahead and finish all the way around, and I will meet you back. Okay, so I'm in my last stitch for my first round of double crochets, and I'm going to slip to join at the top of the first double crochet, not the chain 2. And then the next round is going to be a decrease round. So we're going to chain 2, and we're going to make a double crochet in that same stitch, and then a double crochet for 3 straight stitches, and then we're going to decrease on every 4th, which means 1 double crochet, another double crochet, and then we're going to put those together. So let's do that again. 1 double crochet, 1, 2, 3 consecutive double crochets, and then a decrease, which is 1, you just don't finish it, 2, and then you yarn over for all of them. So do that all the way around. Alright, coming up to our last stitch of the round, I'm just going to single crochet, and then I'm going to slip to join in the very first single crochet, and not the chain 2 or the chain. Okay, then you want to leave about 10 or 12 inches for sewing, because we're going to sew this shut now, you want to pull your yarn through your hook. Okay, turn your hat inside out, much like we did with the first hat. And then we're going to take our sewing needle, okay, yeah, thread our yarn through there, and then we're just going to do exactly like we did with the first hat, and we are going to weave inside and out of stitches. Wherever you would put your crochet hook, that's where we want to put our needle. We want to do that all the way around. It's going to be real quick. You can do 2 stitches at a time if you want, or if you have a longer needle. I'm just going to go ahead and do the whole round with you because it does not take long at all. Okay, in and out, super easy till you get to the front, till you get to the beginning, which this is, and then you just want to close it. You just bunch it up pretty tight. Okay, seal that middle space right there, and then just take your needle and go through a couple stitches, but you want to put a knot. It's important to put a knot so they don't come out. And then I like to fluff it out that way, just so that I'm guaranteeing there's not going to be any holes at the top. You can certainly add pom-poms to these hats. I think 3 times is secure enough. Okay, and then just cut your yarn. And there's the mile a minute hat. Now let me grab my yarn, and we're going to finish this hat up by putting a single crochet row right here and clean this up. So I'll meet you back. Okay, so we want to get back where we started. Have your hat upside down, and then just start inserting our yarn, and we're going to make half double crochets this first round on the brim, and then we're finishing up with single crochets. So literally just go all the way around this part of your hat, and then just put single crochets. And again, where you have the chain 2 space or the double crochet, you're just going to go right in the middle of that and slip a stitch. Whoops, sorry about that. And then right here, that stitch is obvious. And then right here, in that one, half double crochet, in the next one, and we're just going to do that all the way around, and I will meet you back. Okay, we're coming up, finishing our half double crochet round. Just putting it here in the last stitch. I am going to slip stitch to the top of the first half double crochet, chain 1, and then single crochet in that same stitch. And now we're going to finish up this lovely pattern with just 1 single crochet all the way around on top of each of your half double crochets. So I will meet you right back. Okay guys, this is what she looks like. This is the infinity scarf I did in the scarf videos. This is what she looks like from the side. The more you wear it, the more it will get fitted to your head. So there you have it. That is the end of our second scarf. Okay guys, these are the finished product. That's my Xfinity scarf, and then the other cowl that I made in my first video. Again, those links are going to be in the information box. I just want to thank everyone again for their patience, and apologize for any confusion. I will review the video and try to make corrections and put them inside the information box. Again, together, let's continue to crochet it forward. Bye now.